Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodo tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Jared.
And I am MFA.
And today, as you probably just noticed right now, Brendan is not here. Currently, he is dealing with some sort of family emergency, so he is unable to join us for today's episode. So we here at MSW wish him the best. Hopefully, nothing too serious has happened. But on the more positive side of things, we have a very fun episode today because we have NASMARB Race 3 to talk about, and it was probably my favorite race so far, but we'll get into that.
So good.
It was the races were probably some of my favorites so far, but we'll get into that after in the discussion section. MFA, do you have anything that happened in your life recently to talk about?
You know what? Just the fact that okay, spoiling it right now. Oak qualified. That made me so happy.
Yes. It was great to see.
Yeah.
Oak did really, really well.
Hey, no more. Remember, we gotta save
no more, yes. Yeah, Brendan's generally more good at coming up with either random stories or just something random to say for the intro, but I kind of just want to get into the discussion, so let's hand it on over to Johnny Marble to, I guess, give you some of the rundown on the race itself.
Sports fans, I am Johnny Marble, and this is MSW. Let's get right into the news. Race 3 of NASMARB, the reimagined 400, was an incredibly close and exciting competition. Marbles such as Streamer and Oak, who struggled in the first two races, came out and really tore it up on the toughest track yet, as there were many who did not finish throughout. Quillo, who is racing for MSW, had a decent finish in 8th place, and Oak, who's racing for both S-Man and our new half-host, MFA, faced off against Splitzer, racing for our very own Commander Waff, in a spot for the top 3. It was really close, but ultimately, Oak lost out and placed in 5th. The final race was between Streamer, Lemon Drizzle, and Splitzer in the most intense race of the season. Streamer was out to an early lead and looked as though they would win handedly, but Drizzle and Splitzer fought hard to tie it all up. And just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, Drizzle's car malfunctioned on the final run and exploded, and as a result, the final run had to be restarted. After all of this insanity, Streamer managed to claim the gold, with Drizzle finishing in 2nd and Splitzer taking 3rd. Congratulations to these incredible racers, and we wish them all luck in the next race. And now for something brand new, we have the Racing Marbles League. This is a series of races on tracks custom made by the series creators themselves and feature marbles sponsored by fans, and is even commentated by our very own Brendan. In race 1, the St. Anthony Road Course featured a double-laned finish lane, with one pass slowing the marbles down to allow some major upsets in the races. These races were also incredibly dangerous, as ARGUN went flying off the track. Fortunately, though, they were unharmed. The other racers continue on, and in the end, Polyonyx came in 1st, followed by GOAT, the GOAT, in 2nd, and Fincy Artledge in 3rd. Finally, we have race number 2, the Banked Short Course, featuring a wide 4-lane strip to allow the marbles a wide range of movement and chances to overtake one another. There's also an accident in this race. This time is in qualifiers, as Duchess took the turn out of the launcher too quickly and went flying. They were a bit shaken up, but otherwise they made it out unscathed. Moving on to the main race, it was a tough competition as many marbles fought their way through to the front of the pack, but in the end, Quicksilver took the gold, followed by Crimson Lady in second and Panda in third. The Race in Marbles League is off to a great start, and we look forward to seeing more incredible tracks and races from them in the future. But hey guys, I have been Johnny Marble. You have been the best fans in the world. Let's take it back and continue on with the podcast.
All right, thank you, Johnny Marble, for another great set of news for us. All right, so
Isn't Johnny Marble great?
Johnny Marble is great. He is amazing, and I don't think I could say enough about him, honestly.
Johnny Marble for president.
Johnny Marble for president. Hey, Marble for president, man. All right, but no. So NASMARB, this race was amazing. It was definitely my. We've already said this, but this is probably my favorite. Like, the races themselves, I think were closer than they've ever been, with a lot of back and forths. Specifically, I imagine you are very excited because, as you said in the intro, Oak finally qualified.
Oh, yes, after DNFing twice. I mean, you know what? Oak is hilarious. Oak literally thrives under pressure. No pressure, no performance. Pressure equals performance. It is absolutely saddening when your marble that you sponsored fails to qualify twice, but then he gets a top 5. Yes, Oak got a top 5 after DNFing twice and not qualifying. Happy scenes.
Yeah, I think like this track, before we get into some of the specifics of the races, the track itself was really daunting for the drivers this time. Like I was really surprised, but like these sharp 180 turns really threw the drivers off. There was a lot of like even in the qualifiers, there were 2 cars that got 2 DNFs on both of their runs. Like it was,
yeah.
Like I honestly, like, this seemed like a more simple track. I guess when compared to the first track, it's not as simple, but it seemed no, sorry, the second track, my bad. Like the first track had the loop, but like, I kind of figured that like it was simple enough to where like, it wouldn't be too much trouble, but like clearly that wasn't the case. So I think that's something to look out for. Like these drivers struggle with really tight turns.
Yeah, you know what? What I'm noticing is that Oak, he likes to thrive under pressure. I already said that, but honestly, this track was extremely tough. It had a super long back straight, as Ricochet mentioned. Ricochet, get it, Ricochet?
No, not you. I thought I could get away from it for one episode.
Nope. When Marble Guy isn't here, you got the Ricochet Wolf.
Wonderful.
But you know what? Those 2 180s and how they went back and forth, it really put a lot of stress on the cars. And real quick, in the final, one of the cars actually exploded. It was actually amazing what happened in this race. It was so quick, roller coaster emotions for every single driver.
Yes. I guess so. Getting up to that point, like the most intense race for me, I think, before the finals was the race between Spitzer and Oak, like because like it was really back and forth for a while there. Like it was so close.
Yeah, but one of the live chatters, actually the creator of NASMARB, is saying, "No, I'm not describing it as the race so quick. I'm describing the flow of the race. It was amazing. We had one car do like 5 rotations in the middle of the track. That was absolutely ridiculous. You were not expecting that."
I think it was Neptune, if correctly, who really spun out there.
It was Neptune or 17. I'm pretty sure I think you're right. It was Neptune.
Yeah. I don't know if it was 5 spins. I think it was like maybe a good 2 full spins, possibly. Like, but
I counted. And
17.
It was like 4.
It was 17. So it was Winks.
No, Winks. It was the Alabama sponsored car.
Oh, okay. Oh, Confetti. That's right. Confetti had a pretty impressive performance too. Yeah. This was actually that's actually kind of one of the bigger things too about this race. Like there were a lot of racers and marbles who didn't really do good in these past few races, but they just like came out and showed their stuff this race. Like Oak being one of them, and then Confetti being another. Like, and then Streamer. Oh my, Streamer was like just incredible.
Streamer just bam. You know, that Streamer seemed to thrive at this track. And you know what? The funny thing is Streamer has not done well in the past 2 races. He had been very irrelevant. But it's amazing he came through. I guess these cars just seem to suit, their drivers seem to suit different tracks, and it seemed like 48, Oak, and Streamer really loved this track. I can say the same with Spitzer. Spitzer seemed to enjoy it too.
I do agree. Yeah, the Spitzer. Spitzer struggled a little early, but sorry, I was about to go off on a different point, but I think overall Spitzer did fare rather well. They there were times where they kind of struggled. They sometimes went up a little too high on the curves and then lost control. But for the most part, Spitzer managed to keep it together.
Real quick, can we talk about qualifying? Because qualifying was actually ridiculous. According to a stat given to by Hershey926, he said that 10 out of 40 runs were DNFs. That's ridiculous. It shows how hard the Lightspeed 400, if I were correct. Isn't this the Lightspeed 400?
I thought that was last race.
That could have been the last race. I'm not good with names, but this
is
reimagined 400. But this was an absolute beast of a track. Like, this was a giant. You were not going to just take this on as with half a mind. If marbles have minds, which they don't. But this was a tough track. We saw tons of spins. If you messed it up in the second little mini straight between the two 180s, you'd spin into the second 180, and that would kill your momentum because it was at a very, very, very low. It was very low grade, and it kind of made it very easy. If you spun out at the top, you would lose momentum and you couldn't finish. We saw that many a time. Yes, backstretch was a killer.
Yeah, it was. Like, a lot of the changes happened there in the back. Like the backstretch in particular, yeah, like so many cars, like they just started slowing to a crawl, and they just couldn't. Murakami barely crossed the line on one of them.
The qualifier, yes, he literally got the rear of his bumper. He finished around backwards, but it was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, like, that was crazy. All right, but back to the main race. Oh,
yes,
sorry.
yes.
If you have something else to say.
Well, I would just like to say that from my perspective as the part owner with S-Man, he's been on this podcast also, but as a part owner, when I was watching Oak, I was literally at the start just saying, please, Oak, just don't DNF. Just don't DNF. And so Oak gets to the first one. I'm like, okay, Oak's taking a little bit of pressure off himself, but now he's going to slip up because Oak hates not having pressure. So everybody goes. Like, wasn't it like 5 marbles got a DNF in the first run?
I believe so.
Yeah, and then yes, we got confirmation. 5 had a DNF in the first round, so I'm like, okay, Oak has a shot. Just don't DNF here. And then Oak goes on and just absolutely smokes the rest of the field with a 3.48 in the second lap. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Oak made it. Oak made it. Oh. And then, okay, you go.
Yeah, but I think the other really surprising thing was how like this race was technically like it was both unpredictable and yet not predictable in the same way. Because like this was like if you noticed in the top final 6, with the exception of the 5 seed being missing, the top 6 were all there. Like it's like the seeding actually predicted how it would kind of all end up in the end, it was no real upsets like throughout the race. There might have been like a few like minor ones like between like maybe 2 of the lower seeds, but nothing really happened with the higher seeds in particular.
I will say you actually upset Spitzer actually upset Oak in the semifinal because he was actually I was a 3 seed, you were a 4 seed.
Well, that's not really an upset. That's not an upset. Like, an upset's like a major difference in seeding.
Well, it's still an upset because you were a lower ranking.
I don't. I mean, I don't watch many sports and seeding tournaments. So I don't know if like just being one difference is considered an upset or not. But like,
It is considered an upset according
Alright.
to S-Man. But yes, just trying to go through this race, it was absolutely amazing. Spitzer dominated through qualifying, if you remember, and then pretty much dominated the race.
I kind of got back to form like they were in the first race.
No, not Spitzer. Streamer. Excuse me.
Oh, you're talking about Streamer now.
Yes. I meant Streamer, but he got 4 points in the first round, like in the qualifying. Like, yes. I'm sorry, I was off track, but it was absolutely amazing to see how good Streamer was. That was a dominant win.
Yeah. So like, let's see here. What's the like? This is the first time also that Quillo and Spitzer did not race against each other. This is the first actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
So
you can
far.
thank me for that because I
Yeah.
knocked Quillo out.
Mm-hmm. You sure did.
Yes, I'm sure Hershey is going to, or not Hershey, but Marble Guy is going to be super mad when I bring that
Oh
up
yeah.
to him.
Once he finally sees that, I can imagine.
Yeah, but it was worth it because he is in a very good qualifying position, if I remember, to qualify for the playoffs. Whereas Oak was literally before this race, he was in dead last with 4 points, which was sadness.
And they did get fifth in the end. Like they like, but even then I saw like they didn't really rise too high up in the rankings. Like overall, like so like they still have a lot of ground to make up for.
Well, yes, but it's a huge momentum boost, and since we got a fast lap in the qualifying with the fastest lap, it just shows that Oak has speed. It's just he needs to keep it on the wheels. If he can keep it on the wheels, he's fine.
Yeah. All right. So I think what we really need to talk about is the final race. And,
yes.
Okay. So that race was ridiculous. Like Streamer had like a 3-1 lead.
1-1 lead.
And like
3-1-1.
it seemed done. It seemed over. But then like both Spitzer and Drizel like were just coming out there like slowly trying to keep the race going.
They kept it going.
They did.
They won 4 between them. They won 4 matches in a row and forced a deciding 10th round.
Yes, and like the other thing is like they were like almost always like right next to each other, like pretty much throughout the first turn and then like halfway through to the next turn. Like they were all really close, like really even throughout most of the race. It was just so intense, like and like I was just like always on the edge of my seat throughout the entire thing. Like,
well, yeah, you have a reason to be on the edge of your seat. You literally were in the final, and I was actually rooting for you. Yeah, you know what? And then that brings us to our final, our point with this final.
Oh no, yeah,
we had a car explode, literally explode.
Yeah, so on the final run, like when it was all tied up, they were going down the stretch. Then Drizel hits the wall. And they got hit with so much force that they flew up into the air over both Spitzer and Streamer. They landed back on the track and then exploded. And then Drizel, the marble, got out and they started running down the track. Spitzer managed to make it all the way to the end, but then Drizel like kind of managed to make it past him, which kind of shows like hey, maybe marbles don't need cars after all. But
yeah, I was just rewatching the clip. And it looks like that Streamer got underneath Lemon Drizel.
They did.
And just popped him up. And the thing is, it exploded before he even hit the ground. And
did it? I thought it when it hit the ground.
No, he landed on top of Spitzer and literally just yanked himself off. He landed on top of Spitzer.
Yeah, and I remember so I kind of want to go with how the whole experience I had in that moment. So. In that moment, I was just jumping for joy. And I was like, screaming like, "Yes, Spitzer won!" But then I was like, "Oh, but Drizel, is he okay? He got hit by Spitzer at the finish line." And I thought that maybe there'd be like a medical situation, quote unquote, where Drizel would be like, like being seen by the medics to make sure they're
You know
okay. But be like a bittersweet victory. But what ended up happening actually was I imagine some people will have some issue with is that the race was actually restarted, and admittedly, so was I. Like because I went like from literally the peak of happiness for me in that moment, and then 5 seconds later, the exact opposite. So I was suffering from some major emotional whiplash when Spitzer did not get the win in the end, and at least for the time, I was definitely not really happy. Like, I was like, it felt like a very souring experience for an otherwise fantastic race. But like,
Yeah.
The main problem thing is because like I didn't see it coming. It just surprised me, and I didn't understand. But like for anyone else who is also on the fence about it or have mixed feelings on it, I did talk with like Hershey about it, and it does make sense why it happened. So basically, in like series like this, like depending on the person who makes it, like they'll define it like what they want to happen, what they don't want to happen differently. So like for instance, like in some places, like they like something will happen that they didn't intend for, but like they like it anyways, and so they'll go with it. But other times, people want like define like they don't want something to happen, and if it does happen, then like they'll like redo it. And for Hershey, the car braking was not something he intended to happen, and so that's defined as an equipment failure, and thus the race has to be restarted. And now that I understand that that's his viewpoint on it, I am okay with the decision now, because the only reason why I wasn't okay in the moment was because I didn't understand it that way. I figured that he and I guess everyone would see it the way I did. Like, oh, it was just a really bad crash, and like that the race would be like, it would be like a bittersweet victory where Spitzer won, but Drizel got injured or something like that. But now that I understand like what Hershey personally defines as an equipment failure, it's not going to surprise me anymore if it happens again. And so like it shouldn't be an issue for me going forward, at least. I imagine there's still some people who are going to be like, not, like that Spitzer should have still won or something like that. Like, and
yeah, I'm part of that camp.
And like, but I mean, as a person who sponsors Spitzer, Spitzer is like my favorite marble from MSPN, or Marbles Beyond, sorry, ever. I love Spitzer to death. I've supported Spitzer since M Games, and I'm okay with it. So like, I think like I have the most emotional stake in this. If I'm able to accept it, I think everyone else should be able to too. If you're not, I feel like you're just you're refusing to let go or accept. That's me personally. Spitzer is a telescopic, yes, S-Man.
Okay, so I can understand what you're coming from, but the reason why I think he should have been awarded is, yes, it might have been an equipment failure according to this, but when you define an equipment failure, it should be like the starting gate. You're not going to call it, when a marble split opens, an equipment failure. That's an injury. So that's kind of my take on it, is he should have been DNF'd. It should have been like, as I read somewhere, someone said it should have been a rerun between Streamer and Spitzer. He should have been DNF'd like for the rest of the race because he exploded. Because, well, that's why. And honestly, what I don't get is the fact that when the cars fly off the track, that's not a restart. It doesn't get restarted. It's just you put them, the winner wins. And it just feels wrong with that, because just because of the fact that a car exploded and a marble gets loose, that they restart the race. Honestly, that's doesn't make any sense for me.
I get it, that's just like a difference of opinion on because it's really all it's every individual's own personal views on it. Because for instance, if I had made NASMARB, for instance, I would have defined it that way personally for me. But NASMARB isn't my series; it is Hershey's, and now that the understanding of what equipment failure is defined as is more concrete now, I'm willing to accept it, because that's his series. He defines the rules. The only problem I had was that I didn't understand that was a rule at the time. But now that I know,
Yes,
I can't I can't
that's-
be upset because it's his. He defines the rules. Like if you don't like it, it's kind of it's your fault, I guess. Like
Yeah,
unless
I
it's something
get
like
that.
really bad, like I guess like I can't think of anything that would be like absolutely ridiculous that would be like objectively not okay of a rule. But I can't think of anything right now.
You know what? I get that. You know what? But the thing is, nobody understood that it was a rule. They're literally so when you first understand it, you're going to be like, wait, why are they restarting if a car literally explodes? If you're going to say that, it should be stated in the rule book that people can access that, hey, yeah, I get it. That, yep, it's
Well-
equipment failure. This is defined as an equipment failure. Well, yes, there was a caution, but honestly, if you look at NASCAR, and we're not talking NASMARB, we're talking NASCAR. If there is a caution before a certain point, the car in front wins before the caution came out. So if the caution came out at the point when Spitzer was ahead, when he called the caution out, it should go to Spitzer as a win, in my opinion. And then they say, okay, next race we are defining equipment fault as in a car exploding.
Well, I mean, like as Hershey stated, like all diecast cars, they're not intent. Like at least most diecast cars that I've ever seen are not designed to open up and break open, and so the fact that it did is a failure of the car equipment itself. It's just that I guess depending on who you ask, some people will be like, okay, yeah, like we'll roll with it, but others like no, that's not what I want these races to be. And if the equipment if it hadn't happened, for instance, if they didn't break open, I don't know if Drizel could have actually have made a comeback at all, but we won't know. There's no way for us to know at this point, because we can't replicate that situation exactly the same.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
So, so I can't say if the car didn't break open like it wasn't meant to, that he could have won, but the possibility is there, and so I can understand why Hershey would see that as too big of a I guess accident to allow the ending to go the way it did and to rerun it. I've had my time to think about this, and I feel
yeah.
it's okay.
You know what? Well, what I see is, did any car in any of the races where there were 3, did any car come back from last to first without a huge DNF?
Without a huge DNF? Yeah, Quillo in the first race.
Okay, but I was talking about this race.
Oh, this
Did
race.
anyone make it back? Did anyone make it back?
Spitzer did in one of the finals races.
Spitzer did it when he flew up in the air, but the thing is,
No.
since he-
Like in one point, it was one of the three races. The cars, they were blocked, or maybe I think of a different. I think I was thinking of a different car. Spitzer got stopped by one car, and then they were blocking each other. 2 cars were blocking each other. I think Spitzer was one of the cars doing the blocking, and then the other car zoomed around them, and then got a win for that race.
Yes. Yeah, I did see that, but I was talking about without DNFs. If there were no DNFs, could Drizel won? No, because we did not see it happen in that one, this racetrack.
Well, just because we didn't see it happen, that one doesn't mean it's not possible. Quillo showed that it's possible, and on the first track, sure, it's a different track, but it shows that it is a possibility. We just hadn't seen it then.
No, that is a good point. But still, I think Spitzer did indeed get robbed.
And
if
we just seen the race, so I can't actually recall all the races. I don't know if there were moments where there weren't DNFs where a car in the back did come from behind. I'm sure Hershey might know but as of right now, I can't think of one. But the possibility is clearly there.
I get it. You know what? It just feels really sad. And if Spitzer loses out on the championship because of this one bad call, it's gonna. Oh boy. I just hope it doesn't happen.
And Hershey makes a good point. The Spitzer could have DNF'd on the backstretch if Drizel stayed in the car. But I mean, Drizel, I still don't know if I didn't see it explode before, but I thought I could have sworn it exploded when it hit the track, but assuming that it didn't explode before hitting the track again, it was behind them, so I couldn't see Drizel making Spitzer crash. But if it did explode before going up, then I can see that point. But again, I'm already kind of on the side of like the call at this point, anyways. So it's more convincing everybody else than me.
Yes. So I'm rewatching it. So, as they're coming out of turn 1, Drizel's on the inside. Spitzer goes bodily onto his right quarter panel and is about half a car length behind. He's pushing right up. So because they're pushing up, they both go kind of to a 40-degree way up. So since Drizel is being pushed by Streamer, he goes up onto the wall. And since they're coming down a turn, Streamer actually goes underneath Drizel. And you, as in Spitzer, is literally right on the tail of Streamer. So when Drizel pops up, Spitzer actually drives right under him. And when he hits down, he actually breaks open because he hit the top of Spitzer. Yeah.
Okay,
so
okay. I did forget that you said that, but I'll probably need to rewatch the footage. But like, if they did explode when hitting Spitzer, I suppose that would have, like, if they didn't explode, that probably would have changed things. Yeah.
Well, when he literally tapped when I'm rewatching it right now, and it's not a huge tap. It is a minuscule tap on the roof.
But that's because like they were coming apart. If they didn't come apart, they probably would have hit. It could have been more of a strong hit.
Actually,
because the energy would have been going. All the energy would be going into Spitzer, not the energy going outward as the car fell apart.
Actually, I have to turn up the definition on the camera because I was only running in 480. But looking at it again, it looks like Spitzer may have, or not Spitzer, but Drizel may have exploded before. Oh yes. Okay, rewatching it. Spitzer did not cause the explosion. It was Streamer.
Yeah, I could have sworn that if anyone got hit him, I could have sworn it was Streamer.
It was Streamer. You were behind in third. But when Streamer tapped him and hit him on the bottom, it looks like it sheared the bottom. But when I was looking at the cars and Hershey was showing the cars, I thought the bottom plates were inside the cars. So I don't think it would be really possible to really pop it off without a lot of force.
Well, he got hit with a lot of force getting launched into the air. So it was already getting loosened up, I imagine.
Well, you know what? I get that, but... rewatching this in full speed, it actually doesn't look like he was doing too much of a force because they were just exiting the turn. So if you're exiting a turn, you're running with a lot less speed, and since you're pushing up against him.
Well, it's also your eyes are also in trick because, like, if you remember correctly, the race is run like 85% speed, if I'm not mistaken. So they're going faster than we actually see.
Oh, so it's at 85%. Okay,
yes.
So if we speed that up to exactly a custom 1.15, we can then get a true speed.
Would that be?
Which. Yes, because if it's at 85 plus 1.15 equals 100.
Well, it's
approximately. It's approximately.
All right, whatever.
So yeah. Sorry about that, but I have to rewatch this. Okay. Watching it from this angle, yes, Streamer does pop the bottom of Lemon Drizel out as they exit the turn. Yep, that's what happens. So,
yes.
What happens is Drizel gets turned in as he hits the corner. When he comes out of the corner, Streamer, who's trying to push past him, drops lower and hits the undercarriage of the car. Since the undercarriage of the car isn't made to take that type of hit, it explodes. And as it's exploding, it twists in the air and lands on top of Spitzer. And so then Spitzer pulls in front. So I can actually now see why he DNF'd it. Okay, you know what? It's still a close call. I get it why Hershey did it now, but it still feels kind of like Spitzer got robbed. I guess that's enough on the Drizzle crash.
I think that's enough of that. Yeah. See, how are we doing on time? We gotta make sure.
We still got 30 minutes left.
Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, Brendan definitely helps to slow things down with his tangents. That is for sure. So I guess maybe we're at a halfway point, so I guess we should do a trivia segment?
Okay, sure. I actually have a trivia question all prepared.
All right. Cue the music.
Now it's time for the trivia segment. Come on now, let's go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Bum, 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 ba-dum. Bum, bum,
All right,
bum,
and
ba-dum.
we're back. All right. So, MFA, let's hear your question.
Okay, my question is how, in all the years of Marble League, how many teams have gotten a podium finish?
How many teams have gotten a podium
how many
fin-
teams?
Just the number?
If you can name some teams, if you can name some of the teams, you get bonus points.
Well, obviously, Savage Beaters or Rangers, Mellow Yellow. You have the Oceanics at one time. You have Momo. You got most of the teams have all gone a podium at this point, but except for a few.
Well, no. Okay, let me reword that. How many teams have finished the season in the top 3? How many teams have done that? Like gotten a gold, silver, bronze season? Yeah, top 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I misworded that. How many?
Okay, now it makes more sense.
Apologize for that. Got a guess?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it's 10.
Okay. Do you wish to name the teams that you know of?
Savage Speeders, O'Rangers, the Thunderbolts. That was the other team that they were tied with in 2016. Then you have the next year, Savage Speeders got the top 3 again, so you don't need to count them, as well as the O'Rangers who won that year. So that's another one. I can't remember the team who got on the podium with them, but that's another one. 2018, you had the Savage Beaters again in there, but then there's 2 others. The winner of that year, who was Midnight Wisps, and then another team. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mellow Yellow. And then 2019, Savage Beaters got 5th, so they didn't. So I believe there was 3 spots open. It was all three of them were new. You had the Raspberry Racers who won. Then you had I can't remember the other 2 who were there with them. And then, of course, now 2020, 2 of them were repeats, but then one of them was the Minty Maniacs.
So the correct answer is 10. And the
All right.
total teams is, Akinon also got this correct. The correct teams is the Raspberry Racers, Green Ducks, Hazers, Savage
Green
Speeders,
Ducks, that's right.
O'Rangers, Wisps, Thunderbolts, Oceanics, Mellow Yellow, and Minty Maniacs. So you didn't get all the names, but you did get the correct number.
All right. I just missed 2 names. That was pretty close. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
All right. So, for my question, I wish I had prepared more. I've been slacking on my questions a little bit recently. Okay, so...
Ooh.
All right, so just to see how much you've been paying attention to. Let's do a NASMARB one. Who do I want to go with? Let's say. How about so for yeah. But no, hold on. I definitely should have prepared more. I need the scoreboards for both races, but I cannot do that right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So, Mozilla, like, random. Okay, fine. This is a very lame question, but for Mozilla, how many points is Mozilla away from not qualifying for, like, from getting like the bottom? Was it the bottom 8? The bottom 8.
Oh, isn't like 12?
Let's see. Let's throw out a guess first. This is a bad question. I know it's not.
I guess 12.
It's 10. Okay, so the answer is 23. I know this isn't.
Okay, yeah, I just looked at the scoreboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is bad trivia. I'm sorry. I did not have something prepared. I'm very, very bad.
You need to be prepared. You know what? You know all those YouTube videos you watch? You could have just used them to look up a trivia question.
Oh, well, today I was mostly at work, but, whatever. Anyways, I think...
Okay, we got someone who wants a guest for trivia.
You know what? I'm fine with that because I had a terrible question, so please,
okay,
by all means.
Hershey, do you want to yell out your trivia question or whatnot, or type it? Okay, we got an okay.
All right.
Should I play Jeopardy music?
I guess to answer Richard Hinckley from like several minutes ago, like there are some, like, Marble League did have a rule book for it, but they have like they that was like back in 2019. I don't think they stopped doing that for quite a while. Like, I think all competitions do have a rule book. Like, you have to have a rule book to run them. It's just that they're not made public to everybody. Apologies for not answering your question earlier.
Okay. You want to start a duet? Okay. Okay, we got the 2 questions.
So, which NASMARB driver has the most heat wins, and how many? And then the second. Yeah, let's do one at a time. So, yeah. So, first one is that one. All right.
Okay, I'm fairly sure it is Lemon Drizzle.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Gotta be
Drizzle had the 10 wins in race 2. I don't think they didn't qualify race 1, right?
No, they did qualify for race 1. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So I guess Drizzle didn't do very well though. So I think they picked. I don't think they won a heat the first time. So 10.
I'm going 10 plus about. I think they won like 9 this time because they came 1 short. So 19. Is that correct for number 1?
3.
Well, they won 1 less than they did last time because they won 10.
Right.
And then
True.
9. So 19?
I think 19 is a
correct?
good answer. I think 19 is a good. Yeah.
Is that correct for number 1?
19. All right.
That was yes. We got it.
All right. And then
number 2.
Which driver has earned the most bonus points?
Okay.
Okay. I have not been able to keep track of this. I don't see the time. I don't see like the lap times for the actual races. So I keep.
No, it's not. It's not. It's for qualifying.
Is it bonus points only in the qualifying? Okay.
Yes. I do believe it's. Ooh, is it Streamer?
Streamer had the fastest lap. No. Someone
Streamer had the
one.
fastest outside lap and fastest overall time, so that's 4.
There are points in the race. Yeah, that's if there's like one critique I have is that it's hard to keep track of where the bonus points are coming from or who's getting them.
So, are you talking about bonus qualification points?
Well, I think he's just talking bonus points in general, like who has the most bonus points.
Are you talking? So, but they only award bonus points for the qualifications, right? I'm pretty sure they only award.
Well, no, he just said. No, Hershey just said in the chat that no,
okay.
It's on the website. Okay, well, I'll make sure to check that from now on.
I have seen it. I think it's gonna be, I don't know, Streamer with 4.
I don't think Streamer has done that well all around these past few. I think it might be.
Oh right, yes.
I think it might be. I'm feeling Earl.
Yeah, I don't think Earl's been pretty bad, but I mean, I can see why.
They did good the first race.
Oh, wow, it's 25. It's your car, Waff.
What? Well, clearly I need to pay attention to the website now. Jeez. I didn't know Spencer was doing that well with it.
Oh, and I was right with the car also. Tied with 26 also. So I was right about the car, but wrong on the numbers.
All right then. Well, that's pretty good. That was definitely way better than what I had. Thank you, Hershey, for providing that wonderful trivia.
That was actually much better.
Yeah,
much better than our trivia. Well, my trivia wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. His was good.
Yeah. All right, so let's head back on to the show now.
Cue the outro music.
That was the trivia segment. Now let's head back to the show. The show. Oh.
All right, and we're back. So, okay, we have a good 20 minutes left. So, let's see here. Do you have any other cars that you want to talk about?
We've already talked. Did we talk about Oak, or did we talk about Quillo?
We talked a little bit about Quillo. We kind of brushed past them, but Quillo did. This wasn't their best race, but then again, neither was the last race. Like both Spitzer and Quillo did pretty mediocre. I guess bad is probably a more better description. Well, again, I guess it's better than not qualifying. But you know, like they both got out really early. Like last race, Spitzer lost in the first one, then Quillo lost in the second one. So like, I mean, Quillo didn't do great this time around, but I think this just wasn't their track.
Well, you know what? One thing that I'm noticing, if you look at the standings, Quillo is number 5 in the points, so that's decent. I mean, he's only 26 points off the leader, and actually, no, not 26 points off the leader, 26 above the cut line, so just, he's got really no problems, just, as long as he qualifies, he's fine.
Yeah. Hershey did offer to provide some discussion points, so you know what, I'm fine with that. Like if because like not having Brendan here really does make it more difficult to, I guess, get a discussion going.
Yeah, you know what? Well, you know what? I do find that kind of funny that Oak, the absolute meme of the field for being so bad, beats Quillo, who had come very close to winning the first race, and had done decently in the second race, at least.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he's going to be raging once I come back.
I'm sure. Alright. So okay. First thing about Prime failed to advance through the group stage for the first. Oh yeah, it's right. Completely forgot that. Yeah,
Prime.
Just so distracted. Prime has been so good, but they didn't make it through to the group stage. Like that was.
Well, you know what? Are they? And the question is, are they a one-hit wonder? Now, I don't think he is a one-hit wonder. I think he's gonna come back because he has already locked himself into the playoffs. So he's, you know what? He might just be playing it chill and just gonna save up his energy.
That is true.
If you can say a marble is saving up energy, because a marble is a marble, but he's already qualified. So why does everyone have to worry about it? That's really just a no-brainer.
I think that it's too early to say because like
Same.
I think like maybe by like race 4 we could start to get an idea of
So next race.
Yeah, something like that. I would say that like we can really get an idea of like how good Prime really is. I suppose.
Okay,
I think we're not even halfway through this. At least the pre playoff. What's that? Not playoffs. Like I don't know, the championship, the pre-championship. So you know.
Okay, number 2. We have another point from Hershey.
Regular
Mozilla came in with the points lead and left in 6th. This was the first race they didn't make the top 6. If this is a championship track, can he bounce back? So are you saying this is coming back in the? Is this coming back in the playoffs?
No, he's saying if so basically depending on the tracks, like will be some of the tracks we see will be used for the championships. I think it's based on like popularity.
Okay, Hershey, you need to bring this track back for the playoffs. It was, oh boy, that was an absolute beaut.
We'll see
of a race. Okay, everyone who is listening to this podcast, vote for the DDT Speedway or something like that.
The Reimagined 400 is the track name.
Well,
But,
no, that's the race name. It like DDT Speedway. Oh, it's also race 7. Oh.
Yeah, there's only four. There's 4 tracks total. Each one will be used for 2 races.
DDT International is the track. Yes,
Oh, okay.
everyone, go
that's right, the
vote.
race.
Go vote for DDT International when it comes time for playoffs, because this track breeds chaos. It is a monster that cannot be tamed unless you're streamer. Then it can be tamed.
And Brennan would then go off about how we talked about chaos theory one
Yes.
time for like the umpteenth time.
And the Thanos snap.
The Thanos. No, that was me.
I know, but you'd also go off on that tangent.
Well, not for this. That has nothing to do with this.
Well, they're marbles.
So that doesn't have just because this is NASMARB, my guy. This has nothing to do with Marble Mayhem.
But we have a third question from her. She says,
Fluke
"Was
streamer?
or was this a fluke for streamer?" No,
Well,
no,
I mean,
it wasn't. He is literally 4th in the standings, tied with Spitzer. He is not a fluke.
Well, I mean, this is the first time that streamers, at least for me, has really stood out. I don't think they've done this well before, so well, clearly they haven't. But
What? He was 14th coming in.
Yeah, like they were low on the radar, but they
But you know what?
made a comeback. I think their streamer is kind of like Drizel from last race, where they just kind of came out of nowhere. We don't really, but like Drizel has been consistent now, so we don't know. So like maybe streamer will continue to be consistent as well. Like we'll see, but
Well, then does that make Oak coming out of nowhere?
I mean, yeah, I suppose because like they didn't qualify
Oak is
twice.
Oak is like the meme. Like I've seen almost everybody talk about how bad Oak is. So how can Oak be basically just under the radar if the fact is he is literally just that everybody's talking about him?
Well, I mean that was the point. Like they were under the radar and now they're not.
I thought they were already on the radar for being bad.
I mean, I suppose it depends. Like, some people care, some people don't. I don't know.
And also, another thing that they did say that Ricochet actually said was that that Oak had one of the top 5 and top 6 times for both races when he in the qualifying. So you know what, if you heard that, you know what, you're probably going to take notice. And I've seen a lot of people starting to talk about Oak in the live chat. Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose like Oak, I guess it is probably less of a surprise just because like they are known for not doing.
They
too
have
well.
the pace. They have the pace. It's just, can you keep it on the wheels?
We'll see. See, another point. We're just popping them off here. Winx has been made back-to-back top 6s. Only 3 marbles have done this, but they are now 0-6 in heats in the final 6. Will Winx be able to break through and win?
Ouch.
I'm not really sure.
Winx, isn't he? Yes, he is with Blade Star.
Yes. Winx
know what?
kind of struggles.
Blade
this
Star, the Blade Star Motorsports seems to be the Ferrari of Formula 1, except they're the Ferrari of NASMARB. They can't ever win because they choke. So honestly, I'm thinking Winx won't do it. I'm just gonna say, Winx won't do it, but some other marble will.
I think they can do it. It's gonna be tough, but I think Winx can pull it out finally.
Yeah, Winx is second in the driver's standings currently, which is actually quite amazing. But
Yes.
I don't think he will make it. Okay.
We'll see.
Next question. Rick talked about confetti, and the fact he could get some momentum and put together a run. He is 14 points out of the playoffs and has yet to make it to the top 6. Is there a second part to this?
No. This is something to talk about. Like Rick, I think Rick just has a lot of hope in them. It seems, and I mean, it's possible. Like anything is possible with these racers. Like they've shown us time and time again that just because they haven't done good in the past doesn't mean they are doomed to failure. I'm like we still haven't made it past the halfway point, so there's plenty of time for Confetti to make a comeback. I do think that it is possible for them.
Yeah, you know what? I agree, but I just don't feel like Confetti has really shown a lot of pace. He's kind of been like Jeff Marbun. If you remember, he's been pretty bad. Yeah, he qualifies, but he doesn't do good.
He did okay in the first race, but
he barely qualified for race 2 and barely qualified for race 3. So honestly, I don't think they'll actually qualify unless they get a kind of a miracle win, if you can say that.
Yeah. It's a shame because Jeff Marvin has one of the better looking cars. I know that it's based off a real life car, but still, like I like Jeff Gordon's color scheme, and so it's a shame to see that the Jeff Marvin isn't doing so well.
Okay, next, I think we're talking about
Steve and Woodpecker.
Steve and Woodpecker
couldn't. Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Steve and Woodpecker both couldn't complete a lap in qualifying, being the first drivers to ever do so. Is there any way to bounce back? DDT is looming as the track for race 7. Are they doomed?
With the way they drove, I don't think so. I hope they can prove me wrong. That'd be quite the redemption story for them. But they both sucked terribly.
Well, Steve is 3 points above the cut line, so he does have a small cushion. But Woodpecker is 30 points below the cut line. Like, that's how many points Oak scored. And Oak only advanced 4 spots. I don't think Woodpecker is going to get back. Steve might be able to hold on and take enough points in the next 2 or 3 tracks. Yes, Woodpecker has been very bad.
Yeah, they've been very bad. Oh, man.
But, honestly, I don't think Woodpecker can get back. Steve in the Malbow Racing Machine, ooh, yes. See, he's had a 6, an 8, and a 19 placement. I think that's just his bogey track is DDT. So I think if he gets some favorable tracks coming up, I think he can actually pull out a victory. And
there's only one more new track coming after this one.
If it is coming back for one more race, it's only one race. And if this is his only bogey track, then you just check it off the calendar and say, I'm not going to do well here, but I'm just going to hope that other drivers make mistakes and I'm going to capitalize. I think Steve, yes, he can make it back, but Woodpecker, I don't think Woodpecker can come back. Yeah, well, and another point Hershey has made is that he dropped from 6th to 11th. But
but then there are other cars that went from like there are other cars that have jumped up just as many spots. Like Streamer went from 14th to 3rd. So.
Exactly. Streamer went from 14th to 4th.
4th?
He is tied with Spitzer. He's tied with Spitzer for 3rd. But since he has the playoff win, Spitzer gets the top spot. The higher spot.
Playoff win?
He got a win in the past race, so Spitzer gets a higher ranking because he hasn't won.
Oh, they've won more races.
Spitzer hasn't won an actual race, like 1-1. Streamer has.
Okay, wait. So why would if they're tied? Why would Spitzer then have the
Because he has to win on points, and since he's already won a race, the advantage goes to Spitzer because Streamer's already won a race.
Gotcha.
Okay. Point 7. Oh, what do you have?
I was just gonna read it. Like Jack Tato scored a top 3 in race 2. But outside that race, he has finished 17th in both races. What the heck happened to him, and can this inconsistency actually be a viable strategy? I mean, something similar happened in Marble Mayhem Season 2, where Dragon's Breath, like they weren't, like they were just kind of like down near the middle or the bottom. Then suddenly they came back with a vengeance, and they won it all. So, I mean, that could like caught like Drive's Breath caught them all by surprise. Like none of them saw it coming, and that proved to work. So Jack Tato's strategy can work, but there's 7 more races after this. I'm not even past the halfway point. Whereas Dragon's Breath is mostly through.
There's only 5 races left in the regular season.
Like,
so we're almost at halfway. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. And thanks for the clarification. But like when Dragon's Breath did it, I believe it was an event 5 out of 8. So there wasn't much time for the other the marbles to kind of like make it back and like get used to Dragon's Breath's new performance. But whereas here, there's still 5 more races for the other marbles to kind of, I guess, now realize, okay, Jack Tato actually means business. Now we got to take it, like, we got to be more careful around him.
Well, you know what? I would say this could be a viable strategy if he was higher up. He currently is literally on the cut line. 1 point away from Nugget, and that's 13th place. He's out if he doesn't make it. So, you know what? If he was, like, had a 10-point gap to the cut line, I see this as a viable strategy. But he's only got a 1-point cut to the cut line. That's not viable. He literally needs to pull out like 3 top 10s in order to come away with even a chance at making it to the playoffs. Or win a race. Do we have any more questions?
Will we see a
repeat winner?
With the way Drizel and Streamer are racing, I definitely see it. Honestly.
Streamer?
I
don't think. Well, since we saw, you said this before, Streamer has been under the radar. Could this could have been a fluke, and it's just he popped out of the radar because he loves DDT Speedway.
Right, but Drizel did the same thing last race, and they continue to do good this race. So, Streamer could do the same.
Yes, he could. Okay, so real quickly, I'm looking at the current standings. 26 in the first race, he finished 9th. So, I don't consider him as kind of under the radar. It's just nobody noticed him.
Well, I think middle of the pack is more considered under the radar.
Well, yeah, I get it that. But honestly, I think Streamer, maybe. Oh, right, I also wanted to look at where did Drizel finish. Drizel finished in 14th. So, it was kind of it was definitely down the field, but I think almost the way it's made, or NASMARB is made, is the fact that anyone can win. Anyone can win.
Well, I mean, it was just one race before that, and so there was as much of a points difference to make up for it. Whereas, like Oak, for instance, they had 2 races where they did bad, and this one victory is not enough to make up for 2 bad races.
Yeah, you don't have to remind me about it.
I wasn't doing that to rub the salt in it. I was just like pointing out how like Drizel had a different situation than Oak. Where Drizel didn't do good one race, but that's not nearly as bad as making it for 2.
If you get, according to the score sheet, if you get 14th, you make up 10 points, which is a lot more than 2. That's an 8-point gap. So you know what? I think Streamer. I don't think Streamer will repeat. Prime might be able to repeat. I mean, he showed some good dominance in the first race, but honestly, Drizel looks like the best bet to repeat.
We'll see. I think that Spitzer will become the first repeat after they win at the Wolf Way.
Wait,
Twice.
You actually got the Wolf Way?
It's the Wolf Ways next, boys.
Oh boy. Is this going to be the Go Marbling 400?
I can't remember what I call the name I came up with. I think it's
like
the Wolfway 400
400
was like it. The Wolfway 400 is the name I chose.
You should have gone for something about bowling.
Well, Wolf's Bowling Alley. My name is associated with bowling at this point. But it's also Wolf Motorsports, so we have.
You should have gone like Go Marbling 400. Oh, it's Miss.
Oh wait, there's a 5th track. I didn't know that. Well, I'll be darned. All right then. I guess Misfortune 400 first, then Wolfway.
Wait, what track is Misfortune 400 happening on? What track is it happening on? Have we seen it before? because that's the name of the race, not the actual.
Oh wait, so it'll be this different names, same tracks.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I didn't know
I
that they
think.
did that. I
But-
thought that they always did the same races at the same
so is
tracks.
the Misfortune 400 on one of the tracks we've already seen?
No, that should be one. There should be one more new track to see.
So we're gonna. Okay. Ooh, yum. A new one.
Yum.
Well, yum is yum.
Okay, yum is yum. All right.
Write that down, Mr. Waff.
That's totally something Brendan would say. I'll write it down because that is something he would say. That is so what he would say.
Oh, the Waffway 500 is back at Hyperspeedway. Isn't that the first track?
Spencer did really good there.
Isn't that? Oh no, it's the second track.
Oh shoot!
So
Well
which-
then.
Which one was the second track? What was the layout of the second track again? I'm gonna have to look that
It was
up.
the two 90-degree turns.
Oh yeah, that one. That one was. Oh yes, right. That's the one where Oak actually flipped on his lid and flipped his wig.
His hood.
Yeah, flipped his hood. Flipped his hood. Yeah, but yeah. Yes, he did. Wait, did he know he? No, he didn't flip at the first race. Actually, he only spun at the first race, but he did flip at the. He did flip at this one in a race. But Oak does have some trouble staying on his wheels.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Hershey, for being here to help fill out the time because otherwise we would have had 20 minutes of nothing. But now I think we are now over an hour at this point, not including our intro and news. So I think now is a good time to end it. Like this is definitely much better of an episode for me than my 14 episode. I think everyone will agree on that. So
Hey,
definitely
Hirsch.
improvement.
Yes, improvement. Although it helps when you got another fellow wolf.
Yes, it does help. It does help to have more. Well, this is basically the same as before, where it was just two people. So but I guess it counts as three when you have like Hershey providing the info and stuff. So well, it's you know
Okay,
what?
It's
I'll
a triple guest with one not having a mic. It's a triple guest without having a mic.
a triple guess without having a mic in a way, sort of.
Although, Hershey, can we get a quick preview of the next track? Or just tell us what angles it is at, or if there's like 90s, 180s, 360s, 270s, 150s? Or is this just gonna be no reveal? Or do you know what it looks like already, Mr. Waff? Since you're a patron.
It's been a while since I've seen the tracks, but I definitely have seen this one.
Ooh. It's the longest track. This should be
Yeah.
interesting. Although this is going to be really hard because if we remember, this past track was extremely long, and you know who failed at long tracks? A lot of people didn't make it. And obviously, Spitzer kind of took to it, but you can't say he really cut through the field.
I mean, they got fifth.
Ooh, yes, the turns were a problem. And I mean, I guess that is a good point. I mean, any closing thoughts, Mr. Waff? Mr. Waff?
No, I think I've said everything I've wanted to. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I think it is definitely time to close out the episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Only thing I have to say is, GG Oak. Go, my son.
Hopefully, I'm wishing Oak the best in the future races.
Because,
All
well,
right.
hey, it's also a member of the MSW crew. Because
That
we got
is
3 in the MSW crew.
That's true.
I guess that's all for me. If you got one more thing to say.
I do, and that's roll on, Marvel sports fans.